1962. Now she gets to talk about Christianity, and I wanted to learn because I'm a smart boy then. Let's learn about what formed Western civilization. And I knew it was Christianity. She wouldn't teach it. She says it was invented by a self-hating Jew. I'm a self-hating Jew, now. Okay, somehow I'm a self-hating Jew, okay? Named Saul, and he hated his Jewishness so much that he changed his name to the Goyish name. That's how Jews talk to each other, Paul. And besides, she says he was a manic depressant. Now, imagine in 1962 hearing this word manic depressant. I'm 12 years old. It didn't exist, but Mrs. Schechter knew the word. So I go home to my dad and I say, what is a manic depressant? He says, I don't know. Where'd you hear this word? Mrs. Schechter says that Saul, who hated himself, changed his name to Paul. Okay, I'm a 12-year-old kid. She says, I don't know what, he says, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, she won't teach Christianity. I want to learn about it. My dad says, you were born a Jew, you will die a Jew. End of story. Okay, that's my dad. Yeah, he was anti-Zionist, but racially and religious, oh man, powerful Jew. I said to myself, I'm going to learn about this. So I see the rabbi. Actually, the next day, I'm visiting my grandmother in the Jewish home and hospital for the aged. She had some minor operation or something. There's a rabbi walking out the elevator. I'm walking in, the nice shiny wax floor, sterilized everything. I said, Rabbi, Mrs. Schechter won't teach us about Jesus Christ. He spits right on the floor, and he used a curse word, the Jews' word. May his name be blotted out forever, okay? And he spit it again. He says, don't you ever use that word unless you use it as I did, which is a curse word. Well, I tell people, they ask me, how do you come to Christ? I said, to my rabbi. Oh, your rabbi believed? No, he spit. Because I thought, as a Jewish kid with a reaction like that, it must be true. Now, we were forbidden to read the New Testament. This was totally off limits, no-go zone. So now I'm in California. I started to study music. I'm an accomplished pianist and composer and all that stuff. Okay. And I decided I'm going to buy a New Testament. I did. I read the first chapter of Matthew, and I was convinced, just from the genealogies, because we knew, with my Jewish education, which was so solid, that the genealogies were lost in 125 AD, that Hadrian destroyed them at the Second Revolt under Bar Kokhba. And I see these genealogies listed so specifically. I said, yeah, he's the Messiah. That convinced me. Who reads Matthew chapter 1 and gets convinced that Jesus is the Messiah? A Jewish boy like me who's got a good Yiddish cup, okay? That's how I came to Christ. And I was with the Jews for Jesus movement. I handed out the booklets with them and all that. And I knew all the time that there was something missing in Judaism. So I joined forces with them, but not full time, because I wanted to make money. I was a good Jewish boy. I wanted to make money. And I became a salesman. But I would hand out booklets with them. Jesus made me kosher. If you don't like being born, try being born again.
Okay, but let me stop you again. I want you to continue your story. But only Jews want to make money. I mean, this is just, come on, man.
I don't say that.
You say you're not a, listen, here's my deal. Here's the deal.
I'm trying to have a little sense of humor.
I cannot sit there and say one group of people. Let me ask you this. This is a serious question. Because I
named you some names.
Well, let me ask you a question. I understand. It's like Alan Dershowitz said, Jews shouldn't apologize for being successful, okay? The point is...
I never said that.
I said Alan Dershowitz said it. Guys, it's on Twitter. It's on X. Pull it up. Alan Dershowitz says Jews should never apologize for being successful. I'm saying nobody... Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I've been successful with my listeners supporting me, and I don't have any groups, not the CIA, not the FBI, not the ADL, tell me what to do. Okay, so I know damn well my audience and myself built this operation. So I'm just tired of apportioning magical power to Jews, and that if I slip on a banana peel tonight, that I'm going to...
Money is not magic. Money buys politicians.
Answer my question. So you think only Jews like money?
I never said that. Okay,
well, you keep saying the Jews, I was a good Jewish boy, I wanted money.
It's one thing to make money, it's another thing to print money out of thin air. You and I would be counterfeits if we did that. Okay? That's where I distinguish it. Yes, make money. Yes, sell all your vitamins that you can. I want you to make a lot of money. It's important because you're doing a good job in trying to deal with the border. Epstein's a lost cause. Forget it, Alex. No one's going to go to jail. Okay, they put the girl in jail. That's it.
Yeah, let me ask you about Epstein. In fact, that was on my list.
Money
I wrote
out of nothing, and who can use that money to protect Menendez? He will never go to jail. Hunter Biden will never go to jail.
Let me ask you this:
Biden will never go to jail.
What do you make of the BRICS? What do you make of the BRICS with other groups trying to issue the money?
It's just starting. They want to develop their own SWIFT. But I guarantee you, China, which is a large part of BRICS, is still in the SWIFT system. They have to be. They make all our products, Maytag, Cooper tires, Nike shoes.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this,
Kapner. In the Jewish system. So China is not the enemy.
I know. Well, nobody's stopping you saying Jewish system over and over again, but it was a fetishized deal. Like when I have Kanye in here, they just say it over and over again. I want to talk about topics. I know you said that's the source of all. We understand what you're saying. Let me ask you
the main source, but then we have to look at the players.
Let me ask you this. I want to create a system where it's based on meritocracy and what you produce, like Martin Luther King Jr. said. And because I go to a restaurant because the food's good, not because Chinese own it or black people or Jews or, hillbillies or whatever. Let me ask you this. How do you see the world divided right now? What do you think's about to happen? We can see that the world is going to a major tumultuous period. Looks to me like globalist powers are in trouble. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? I mean, let me ask you from your perspective, who runs things, how is things going for the ruling class?
So far, it's going quite well. Now, they got rid of somebody who wanted to stop it. His name was Saddam Hussein, because he wanted to coin his own money. They got rid of him. Gaddafi wanted to start the African dinar.
That's true.
Because these fellows finally got onto it, that the money is what controls. Now, the one who knows this is Vladimir Putin.
By the way, I'm going to stop you again. I'm going to stop you again because you read my mind. The globalists, whoever you say runs it, go after anybody trying to create their own monetary system. Gaddafi, Saddam, you're right. They always start a war. So are you expecting a war or start over?
They can't get rid of Vladimir Putin. They would love to. They're using Ukraine boys, these poor Christian boys, to get rid of Vladimir Putin because they got this crazy woman who was born Noodleman. Her name is Victoria Nuland now.
Nuland, yeah.
She changed it to Goyish name. That's Goyish, Nuland. She was born Noodleman, okay? Because I know this. We all know this, okay? She's the one that wants to destroy Putin. Jews hate Russia because Russia is now revitalizing what is known in common parlance the Byzantine Empire.
And by the way, stop there. That's it's true that he's revitalized the Byzantine Empire. And it is true that Trotsky was kicked out by Stalin, and so that's where the neocon beef comes from. Keep going.
Okay, so Putin is the main arch enemy now to the Jews, not China. They're in the system. So what Putin has done, he has loaded up in gold. He is the main motivator of BRICS. I think he's now the president. He wants to start a secretariat, too. And he's bringing in Saudi Arabia. Iran, I think, is now
Saudi Arabia officially joined today.
Okay, so I'm pretty much on top of things. I think Iran is already in. But it's just in their nascent state. They want to create their own SWIFT, which is transfer of money from one trading group to another trading group, or from one nation to another trading group. They want to start their own currency exchange, their own letters of credit. They want to create their own system. But this is going to take time. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen in 2025. Putin looks at the long range. That's how he's operating his military operation in Ukraine. Not to just go in and destroy. He's looking at the long range of attrition. He's a very clever man. I know people in my Orthodox church who know him personally. And they tell me things that no one else is going to know about him. I know how he operates. So he is in it for the long term. Now, 2024 may be a lousy year for us, Alex, and I include you with us. I do. Okay, because you're fighting for a sovereign America. And I am too. But the difference between you and me is I name the names who are the real enemies who are really controlling these things. Because this is the whole Jewish mind I grew up with. How are we going to control the goyim? Because the Jews look upon the goyim as stupid. If I ever said something as a Jewish kid that was stupid, all my uncles would say, you have a goyish kuf, which means you think like a goy. Okay, so this is the whole thing of the Jews. We have to control the goyim. So they don't like an Alex Jones who comes out and says, hey, this is what's going on. This is what Epstein's doing. It was a sting operation. They don't want to hear that. And they certainly don't want me to hear me calling out these names. So the globalist picture still looks good for 2024. I don't see it getting any better.
All right, we got to go to break. We're going to come back. People can find you. What's the best place for people to find you? We'll do 15 more minutes, but where do people find your reports if they want to see
Real
it?
Jew News. Real Jew News. I do videos, state-of-the-art videos. My graphics will blow people away.
I've seen them. All right. I just want to open a dialogue with everybody and listeners, get mad on both.
Alex, I want to tell you, they banned Bible with Brother. I wanted to just do the Bible. I was reaching the kids, 16, 17, 18.
Hold on, we got to go to break. We got to go to break. Well, I'm a big student of history, so I know every group, from the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Romans, the Greeks, to the Babylonians, to the Huns, to the Chin, all believe they were the master race. And yeah, you can read the Old Testament and you can see God saying, go in and wipe all these groups out. I don't think Kapner's going to say that was a false teaching. And then Netanyahu quotes it. But we cannot deny, and so I'm not somebody that just hates success outright and just say Jews are evil, because then why is our world through the Abrahamic religion going back to that? And I understand the Babylonian captivity and all that stuff. I've studied it. But I just think that, let me ask you this way in the time we have, and we'll have you back because I know you're a historian and I want to pick your brain. We got some stations join us in a few minutes. We got to go to break again in a second for 60 seconds. But let me ask you this. When we pull back and I see the transhumanists and just this evil force that's inhabiting people of every color, religion, you name it, I just want a big tent where we can get Jews and everybody else, regardless of what group they came out of, to see an open tent for team humanity and a pro-human future that Elon Musk and I talked about a few weeks ago. And I just think that to sit there and deny that so much of, because people hate this on the anti-Jew side, Western civilization, you can say what you want, but it's been integrally entwined with Jews. And so, are you saying, do you believe the Khazarian thing, that Ashkenazi aren't Jews, or is it the Babylonian captivity, or Sephardics the real Jews? Are you saying they're all Jews? I mean, there's a lot of questions.
We laughed at the Khazar theory as kids. Okay, this is a theory by some scholar, was made popular by Arthur Kessler, called the 13th tribe. To get Jews off the hook for deicide, okay? So it wasn't Jews today, because everyone's a Khazar. They didn't crucify Christ as a collective. So it's just a stupid Khazarian myth. It's totally ahistorical. No historian worth his worth.
If Jews are a collective,
Jews have been
hold on. Let me ask you a question. If Jews are a collective, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Is it the Sanhedrin, and is the Sanhedrin secretly operating?
Jews don't need a Sanhedrin. They don't need it. It's called the synagogue of Satan. They're all connected to it through money, through culture, for the destruction of Christian mores. Now, you want to bring out transhumanism, transgenderism. The main money makers are Jewish surgeons. The main pushers of transgenderism are those who own the media. I used to live near the owner of CBS. His name was Murray Rothstein. He changed his name to Sumner Redstone, like he's some blue-blooded Yankee. We laughed at him. But the Goyim don't know. And he started this MTV to destroy the youth. Now, I wanted to just talk briefly about my Bible with Brother. I decided I'm going to just do Bible with Brother on YouTube. I'm not going to do any politics. But I wanted to be really cool, and I wanted to reach the youth. I wasn't interested in preaching to the choir. Okay. Now, what happens? I get 3,000 and 4,000 comments from kids. You don't think the kids don't know who's going to comment section? They have a profile on everybody on YouTube. Okay, everybody. They see that, and all of a sudden, after I get 1 million views per month, shut me down. Done. For what? I thought this must be an algorithm. because I'm using biblical language. Maybe they thought it was political language. They would not tell me. Now, they got some Hindu that take place of Washitsky. Okay? Washitsky still runs it. They put some brown-skinned Hindu on, like Ravi Shankar on Google. I know who owns it. It wasn't Larry Rabinowitz, who changed his name to Brin, and it wasn't, Sergei Rabinowitz, and it wasn't Larry Page. They were two boys at Stanford. And someone from the Mossad, who is connected with the CIA, because they are interlinked, started Jugal with those two boys. When they didn't need them anymore, they got rid of them. So I know who got rid of Bible with Brother. It wasn't the Hindu, okay, the brown-skinned dude, the window dressing. I knew who it was. It was Susan Washitsky and the tribe, the synagogue of Satan, the collective.
All right, it's all exhausting. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Well, you might not make it back. KateDalleyShow.com coming up. Kate Dalley, Brother Nathaniel Kapner is our guest right now. And I wanted to get him up to have an open discussion about what's happening. We got about 10 minutes. We go to break, and the next guest host takes over. Had Owen Schroyer in about 53 minutes from now with the War Room, 3 p.m. Central, Infowars.com/show. How do you see this election going? And you were saying it's going to be a rough year. We're 10 months out. You seem like a heady guy. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, it'll be rigged. It's either rigged at the ballot box or it's going to be rigged at the White House. So either way, it's going to be rigged. Now, Vivek's got some great things. He's never going to get in. We know that. They're not going to let some Hindu in. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay? So whoever gets in, they may allow Trump to get in. They may allow that. Okay, but you see, with Trump, it's not that the Jews hate Trump. They don't. They fear his followers. They see with them the American flags, okay, USA. This is nationalism, okay? The meme, nationalism. Where there's nationalism, the Jew sinks down, okay? So it's not Trump that the Jews hate and trying to destroy. They despise, they fear his followers, because those are the white Christians, the patriots, who in a drop of a dime can turn against Israel and say, hey, why are there so many Jews running everything? Why are the Jews able to print this money out of thin air? Why are the Jews pushing woke? Why is the media pushing transgenderism and homosexuality? Why are the Jews putting all these lesbians in charge of a mayorship?
So you're saying they fear the Great Awakening. So let me ask you this. We got a little bit of time here.
They fear the people. They fear the people of the Great Awakening. I don't go into abstracts. Jews don't go into abstracts. That's not what Jews do. They go, who are the people? Is there a large following? They see USA, USA flags, white faces, Christianity, God bless America, Merry Christmas. Uh-oh. We got to get rid of this guy. Vivek, they couldn't care less about him. He's nothing. Okay? Trump is the one they're scared of.
You know, I've sat here and debated a lot of the
because
people.
Of his followers.
Can I just say something real quick? I've sat here and I've debated some of the most prominent names that obsess on Jews all day. And you've not done this, so I think you're being fair. But they always describe that I'm controlled by Jews. That's not. I'm controlled by me. Okay, I'm in charge of all this. I really believe in what I'm doing. I'm trying to create unity around ideas that transcend all this. And you became a Christian, and you know, and I believe you're right about, you know, Christ is obviously the Messiah. You can feel it, you can see it. It's incredible. Any demonic attacks, Christ's name is all powerful. It's real. People I know that aren't even Christian get attacked spiritually. They ask for God's protection. It happens. But again, it's baby out with the bathwater. Why don't we have an outreach to everybody, the Hindus, the Jews, the Muslims, everybody? Because I pull back here and I see the left, the universities, Google, the CIA backing Islam right now, and I see this weird right-wing anti-Jew alliance with Islam attacking Israel, and you say, you know, what if Israel went away today? That's a tiny little country. What would that do? I see it as a cop-out. I think the hearts of men are desperately wicked, as the Bible says, and I don't think Jews have a monopoly, and I don't think they're immune from it either, but I really don't ascribe mythical powers. I think you're an interesting guy.
I don't describe mythical powers.
Kapner, you're very likable. I mean, like Larry David, super funny, likable. I mean, I'll be point blank. I think Jews are pretty funny, likable people.
You peed on a picture of Jesus Christ. That's despicable. Now, there's no such thing as a good Jew. It's oxymoron. Because if you identify as a Jew, you identify with the Christ crucifiers. You identify that Christ is not the Messiah. That's the spirit of Antichrist. St. John said it twice. Whosoever denies that Jesus Christ, the eternal Son of God, has come in the flesh, incarnate, is of the spirit of Antichrist.
Kapner, let me ask you this. Kapner, I never got to my point. I read my point. I've had Kanye West here. I've had them all. And literally, I'm like, can I just finish something? I'm like, literally, both my grandfathers were in World War II. Both were in the European theater. One, God bless him, got shot down and wrecked very early in his missions, or he'd be dead and I wouldn't be here. The other did his full missions and then more. Wouldn't talk about it. He died. We read it all. Out of North Africa, into Italy, into Germany. After that, they said, you're done with your missions. You're now an officer in charge of, the mess hall into Germany. He was there. He saw it. He would barely talk about it. And just piles of dead bodies everywhere. Blackbirds eating people's eyes. Death camps. He saw it all. And I tell people this, they go, oh, shut up, that's Jewish propaganda. My grandfather told me that. He saw it with his own eyeballs. It messed him up. And so all I'm saying is, just because you say there's some evil over here, any powerful group's going to become corrupt. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Then what do you think of Adolf Hitler? Because I think Adolf Hitler was power mad. You could look at him. He glowed with satanic energy. I mean, you could just look at him. He's powerful, but you're like, whoa, that's evil. I mean, he exudes satanic energy. Are you saying you have discernment? You look at a speech of Hitler. You look at his eyes, and you're telling me that's not Count Dracula?
Take a look at his pictures with children.
Oh, my God.
That's what I do. I look at body language. I study body language. I was a straight commission salesman for 25 years. I know body language. The children love Adolf Hitler. Now, I just did. Oh, yeah, it says a lot. I don't see any evil. They didn't see any evil. You know who can pick up evil? Children, like that. Children love me. Okay, they just look at me. Other people, children, they want to come up to me. They want to hug me. They want to talk to me, whatever. Okay, but I'm very careful. I don't touch children. Okay. So
you think Adolf Hitler was good? Okay, what is Brother Nathaniel?
I'm not saying anyone is perfectly good. I would never say that because we're human beings, okay? We all have shades of everything. Now, Hitler's main concern...
But he was anti-Christian. Hitler was anti-Christian. He was a pagan.
Okay, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to go with what he wanted to do for Germany, like other people want to do for their own nations. He wanted to do something for Germany. He saw that the Jew, who controlled the press, who controlled the arts, who controlled theater, who controlled politics, the Weimar regime, okay, and who controlled the stock market, okay, because his teacher was Gottfried Feder, who I've read backward and forward many times to try to understand the economic scenario that Hitler was trying to...
Yeah, no one's denying Germany got shafted in World War I, which Britain started.
Okay, now Hitler was a speaker, and they propped him up. This guy can speak well, so when he gets up, he's going to be the speaker. I do the same thing when I do my videos. I got to speak. I got to make sure people are listening. So I don't go by what his eyes look like when he speaks. I don't go by that. I go by what was his agenda. What did he try to do? Do you know there would be no Israel today if it wasn't for Hitler? Because he established all these immigration. No,
I know. He supported sending Jews either to Russia or Israel. What, you say Israel's super evil? No, Hitler helped create Israel, and now he's good? He's bad?
But he did it through the immigration that he funded, that Jews could go anywhere, really. But there was a strong Zionist movement. It was called the Havarah movement that he funded, that Jews could take everything.
What do you make of the George Soroses and like Madeleine Albright's dad that was Jewish, that helped round up Jews and sell them to Hitler?
Well, that's what he did. That's one person. But he also is connected to the whole Rothschild orbit that of central banks, that you can create money out of thin air, as Ron Paul puts it. He puts it very succinctly, as we can remember. He's part of that